We are the second coming, a rebirth that's starting again. And we'll find a reason here. There's gotta be more than just living in fear. There are no inhibitions, impressions, there's no saving face. Come clean and without fear, and wash all your demons with this saving grace. And now, and this one, start anew. We fall together, but still make it through. All we know can't be true. I'll sacrifice with you. So here now we throw ourselves into the fire and take with us all that we've gained. We all want so bad to fulfill that desire. Now proceed like moths to the flame. We are with full precision, intentions, a new point of view. And we'll find a better deal for something that's real that no one can undo. We are the generator, a perfectly oiled machine. And we'll sing a brand new hymn. So jump in the fire to wash yourself clean, just like Phoenix rise, ashes trim, baptized by fire to cleanse and renew. Past is past, now be consumed. Leave behind what you knew. So here now we throw ourselves into the fire and take with us all that we've gained. We all want so bad to fulfill that desire. Now proceed like moths to the flame. We are. And now, and this one, start anew. We fall together, but still make it through. All we know can't be true. I'll sacrifice with you. So here now we throw ourselves into the fire and take with us all that we've gained. We all want so bad to fulfill that desire. Now proceed like moths to the flame. Here now we throw ourselves into the fire. Here now we throw ourselves into the fire. Here now we throw ourselves into the fire. Here now we throw ourselves into the fire.
Hey, we are back, comrades. After a brief hiatus, we've finally returned with episode 8 of the official podcast of dyingscene.com. I'm one of your illustrious hosts, Anarcho-Punk. With me, as always, is my amigo Bob. Say howdy, Bob.
Hello.
Still not going to fall for it. I'm
No.
working on you. We are here to bring you all of the noteworthy scene news that you were probably too lazy to read, and play some rad music from some bands that you were probably too lazy to discover. Like our opening track. Great example. That one was actually brought to you by SoCal Boys Chaser. That was Bonfire from their new LP Sounds of Sirens, which will be released digitally through Dying Scene Records.
Awesome.
Right here.
Nice.
Locally sourced, I think, is how we're supposed to sell that. Locally sourced music. So that's also going to be released on vinyl through Effervescence Records. And we are going to be seeing that drop probably right around the time that this episode airs, July 20th. Let's see if Bob can beat the deadline. He's got the deadline now.
That's 2 months.
I think we can probably do it. No, but the track is great. I like those guys. And when I asked Dave about it, he sent us the file because obviously the album's not out yet. He said that Chaser is actually, and I'm going to quote it here. I'm going to read exactly what he wrote. Chaser is one of the main reasons I started Dying Scene 8 years ago. I thought their album, Numb America, was incredible, but back then, if you weren't on Fat or Epitaph, none of the punk news websites would write about you.
Interesting.
It was really frustrating to me that such awesome bands were flying under the radar of the punk media. So I said, F it. I like how he edited himself. And then I'm going to start my own site. I wanted to get more exposure to bands like Chaser, which is why I'm especially stoked to put out this album on Dying Scene Records. So cool. Good find, boss.
All right.
I think they sound a lot like some early Strung Out. Took me back to my high school days, Bob.
Yeah, that was a long time ago for you, wasn't it?
Yeah. It was
years and years and years and years.
Enough, Bob. So what have you been up to, buddy? I know you went to Hawaii there for a little bit. What was that all about?
Just
you went
got back from Hawaii on
volcano season.
Yeah, on Dying Scene's dime with all the money we get paid to do this. I saved it up and went to Hawaii. No, we went for a wedding and decided to spend an extra week there. That was pretty awesome. Didn't really get to go to any shows though. We were in Maui, and I don't think they have music venues there that do punk shows.
Probably not many though.
No.
But you did go to a show here on the mainland.
Oh yes, right? I went to the Pears show. Pears show the week that I left for Hawaii on a Wednesday night. I'm out at Characters in Pomona. They played with High. High and Melted.
That's a pretty cool card, and that's a cool venue too there at Characters. So they play out on the patio?
They played out on the patio, and I ran into, is it Rob from Wiretap or Felony Records?
I don't know which one.
Yeah, I don't know. But one of the bands has just released an album with him, so that's why he was there supporting the band. But it's a great show. Pears is fucking awesome as always. They're on tour right now, so if you get a chance to check them out, do so. You will not be disappointed. Zach, their singer, is an animal on stage. I think of him like a ringleader of like a circus. Like he's just so animated.
I think of him like the Encino Man. He's just crazy on stage. It's incredible to try and shoot. It's always fun.
Yeah,
trying to take pictures of such a rabid performance.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. So let's see. As we mentioned earlier, we took a little longer than normal to get this episode up. That was mainly due to me trying to get settled in my new place here in the Mile High City.
Yeah.
So I've been pretty busy just getting immersed into the local scene here, trying to find my way around.
How is it out there?
It's fine.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Denver. It's not quite LA, but...
But how's the scene been? It looks like you've been posting a lot of shows and a lot of venues that you've been going to.
Yeah. I've already been to 3 or 4 shows out here. Let's see, like within the first 4 days that we were here, there was a Punko de Mayo at a bar. I went down and shot that. I still hadn't like completely unpacked the house yet, but I was shooting shows, so that kind of shows you where my priorities were. So I shot what I could. Most of my batteries died because I'm a fucking loser. But it was really cool. I found it already. The one of my first new local favorite bands, Kinney's Login.
Let's get some out of quick. We're all blowing each other up and get out of the way. And it's our president, spoiled that boy out.
Kinney's Login.
Okay.
Not only do they have a badass name, they were a really good performance, but our friends in People Corrupting People also played a show there.
Awesome.
Or they actually played the Punk of Mayo. That and a couple other local bands. So that was cool. Definitely knocked the rust off of not doing like an actual photo shoot in a while. So
did they have tacos there at Punko de Mayo?
Yeah, they did. They had a taco truck.
Was it decent? Was it California tacos or no?
I don't want to talk about the taco
Oh, bummer.
Then let's see. Then a couple weeks after that, I got up with Toby over at Red Scare, and he got me into the Lawrence Arms show at the Oriental Theater here.
Awesome.
They played with Red City Radio and Sincere Engineer. Sincere Engineer, who's also with Wiretap.
Very cool.
So that was pretty cool. And then we had a local show with the Windermere's. the Windermere's, one of my local favorites. I've known them since I was back in LA. And DFMK. DFMK from Tijuana came up. I think there was like 3-4 other bands, one of which was Voice of Addiction, which we're going to hear from later in the episode. That all went down at Three Kings Tavern here in Denver. So, yeah, I've been running into a few people that I recognize already and already making friends. Of course, the people from People Corrupting People. They've always been friends of ours. And actually, I think we did an interview with them on an early episode.
Yeah, we did.
Go back and check that out. Yeah, and it was pretty cool. I went over to their place a couple nights ago and went for band practice and heard some new songs. Got to see kind of how a song is built. That was really interesting. So, making friends.
Very cool.
Despite my appearances.
Rotten Blue Menace was from out there, right?
Yep. They are no longer a band, but they do play together.
That's what I was going to ask.
Once in a while.
Okay.
Yeah.
Bummer.
I think they had a reunion show a couple months ago before I moved out here. But
gotcha.
Yeah, I love those kids. Lots of energy. Violent shows. Wouldn't be able to take very many pictures of those.
Right.
All right. Look, we got a long show today. Let's go ahead and get things started with a block of music. Kicking it off, as always, we're going to start with Boss Man Dave's solid gold lock of the episode. This is Stringer with the new single, Ghosts.
I don't wanna think about it every single day, or have to suffer through the drudgeries of games we have to play. Cause my interest comes in fast. Is it too much to insist that we find a way to turn the situation into shit? Cause she saw herself at night, thinking ordinary thoughts under the crushing weight of staying straight. The best of us will part, still the earth will always spin. Relationships will end, and mistakes committed once, they surely will again. Cause now, what do they really want now? Or do they want to hear the sounds of a dying scene? Or do they want to see New York in a gallery? I remember the graffiti on the wall. Back in that half of Brooklyn burned down. I remember being just a little child, hearing screaming from the intercom. I saw ghosts. I remember sounds of bodies on the roof. The sound of heavy bodies climbing up the stairs in my room. I remember being just a little child. Don't you remember being just a little child? Now, what do they really want now? Or do they want to hear the sounds of the dying scene? Or do they want to see the visions from your dying culture? They want to see ghosts right now. I remember the graffiti on the walls. I back in the half of Brooklyn burned down. I remember being just a little child. I remember being just a little child. Now, what do they really want now? Or do they want to hear the sounds of a dying scene? Or do they want to see the pictures from your dying culture? Now, what do they really want now? Or do they want to see New York in the 70s? Or do they want to see the visions of a dying past? I think they want to see ghosts.
That was Ghosts from Stringer. That's the new single out on Wiretap Records. We're talking about those guys a lot, and we're not even done. I think I have a story coming up in the news segment. That's a teaser. Huh? You like that?
You tease.
I think Dave just picked that because of the lyrics, the sounds of the dying scene line. I think that's really the only reason he did it.
That's
to
a
try and get it a
possibility.
little bit. Maybe he's trying to tell us that should be like our new theme song. But it's a really good song. Excellent writing and sick guitar solo near the end there. So good job, guys. Time for some Hermosa Beach hardcore down there in Bob's neighborhood. These guys are one of my favorites. 1 Square Mile. This one's from the upcoming album, The System. This is Long Way Home.
Running down the same old road, keeps leading nowhere. All that questions you need answered. You better open up, read what's in the fine print before the words just disappear. Time's running out, unlock your way. Path is clear, we rise today. No turning back, you're here to stay. We'll find a way, we'll find a way, we'll find a way, we'll find a way. You're a long way from home, in the streets of the unknown. So lost in your mind, there's nothing left to find. You're a long way from home, an empty feeling as you roam. So far from being free, you're lost inside of me. Run down this lonely road, looking for answers. Can't seem to find the one you're looking for. You're so far tuned in, plugged into this grid. Yeah, your whole world is out of order. Time's running out, unlock your way. Path is clear, we rise today. No turning back, you're here to stay. We'll find a way, we'll find a way, we'll find a way, we'll find a way. You're a long way from home, in the streets of the unknown. So lost in your mind, there's nothing left to find. You're a long way from home, an empty feeling as you roam. So far from being free, you're lost inside of me. You're a long way from home. You're a long
There you go, Bob. Some fucking hardcore from the homeland. I actually had to get permission to play that one from the guys
Nice.
over at 1 Square Mile because the LP is still pretty early in the production phase. I don't know if I'm supposed to use that term. I don't know. I have no idea. They're still shopping it around, though. So if you own a record label, call those guys up. They're looking for some help getting that record released. That was a long way home. What do you think, Bob?
I'm glad they gave that to us. That's awesome.
I love it.
That was very nice of them. I wonder, are they doing a full record this time around? Because they only did 5 songs on their first one.
No, this one's a full LP.
Yeah. You know how I feel about that. I'm glad it's a full LP.
So great job, guys. We can't wait for everybody else to hear the rest of the album. We get to be a little bit highfalutin. We get to hear all the music before all
What
of our
does
fans
falutin
do.
even mean?
I have no idea. I couldn't even tell you.
Just throwing around big words like you're an educated person.
Slightly educated. I bet our next act here is pretty educated. From Dallas, Texas. These guys have been around for a little while. Been loving them for a long time. This is Fat by the Gallon with Explode. That one was from the new EP, Jackasses on Pleasure Island.
That's a great name.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
The track was Explode by Fat by the Gallon. I love those guys. A little punk from the heartland of Texas.
Awesome.
I think Dallas is the heartland of Texas.
I have no idea.
I don't know much about Texas except when I drove through there, I tried to get out quickly.
Yeah.
Bob, you want to do some news?
dyingsceneradio.com will read to you. We're still waiting for Fat Mike to approve.
All right, so when I originally put NOFX in the news segment here, I lay these things out a couple weeks prior to actually recording, just so I can have a shell. And it was about them talking about possibly putting out some new music. Fat Mike had a vague statement about fans loving new music, and of course the media grabbed hold of that and said, oh, well, there's going to be new music. So I'm not sure if it was going to happen or not, but that was going to be the topic of the conversation. And then punk rock bowling happened. And I believe everybody by this time will know the story, because this shit's hit the mainstream
right
news.
How could you not?
Like the other fucking news channels. But apparently the guys had made an inappropriate joke. But if you're not used to NOFX making inappropriate jokes at this point, you might be in the wrong genre. So they made an inappropriate joke about the shooting in Vegas, which happened a couple years back, or a year ago.
Happened in October of 2017.
Okay, there you go. Country Music Festival. I'm sure everybody remembers it. So they made light of that, which probably is not a good idea, especially in this day and age. And, of course, the thing to do now is to start pulling sponsors. So that happened to them. The Stone Brewing, which sponsors or brews their beer for the Pumpkin Drublic series. They've pulled their sponsorship, and just today or the other day, they got pulled from the Pumpkin Drublic Festival themselves,
right?
Which they kind of helped create. So it seems like we're starting to talk about this a little bit more these days, Bob. What is your thought on this, the whole punk and PC thing?
It's stupid. I mean, like you said, it is NOFX. What do you expect? They said something stupid, and they weren't even thinking about it. I mean, like, I don't know. I don't understand being offended, because I'm, part of the majority, and majorities have special privileges, I guess. That's hard for us to understand. But I don't know. I don't know if you could offend me. I don't know if I was born in a different place, in a different time, in different shoes. Maybe I would be offendable. But then no one was being serious.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I don't know. I hate to sound insensitive, but it kind of boggles my mind a little bit.
Right. And I don't think you sound insensitive, because you're not saying those things. You know better.
But I also don't care that they're saying those things.
And I'm kind of the same way. It doesn't offend me, and I don't really care what other people say. If I don't want to hear it, I just kind of go somewhere else.
Yeah.
That's my whole thought on it. If I don't want to hear it, or I think it's offensive, I've got other options. I don't have to listen to NOFX, especially there at a festival. And I think we talked about this probably last Punk Rock Bowling or somewhere around there, where the Dickies got in an altercation, a verbal altercation with one of the fans, and said something that was probably not best to say in front of a whole group of people. So it seems that, the PC culture and the punk culture are starting to clash a little bit more.
Yeah, I mean, and then, so I get Stone pulling their sponsorship, right? Because Stone is a big brewing company, and if people, I guess, take it out on them for continuing to support them. I mean, they're a business. They're not a band. Like, right? A band should be able to say and do whatever they want, especially a punk band. And if someone is sponsoring them, like, they're there really just to make money and sell beer, right? They're not there for punk rock, and because of punk rock, it was just like kind of a cool thing they were doing to help. So I get that they pulled their sponsorship. I don't quite understand why they were kicked off the bill of a tour they helped create and is named after one of their albums.
Yeah, but it seems a little weird.
It does seem weird, but they seem remorseful about it, and I think they kind of understand the world that they're living in, which is really great of them to. I mean, I'm not like all of a sudden like praising NOFX NOFX for what they did. But like they recognized it, and instead of like fighting back against it, they're just like, you know what, this is the age we're living in. Like, we're sorry, yeah, we fucked up. We shouldn't have done that, and we feel terrible about it. And like that's because I don't think they intended to do it. That's like they weren't meaning to be assholes. Anyways, so they got kicked off the bill. I know the show's supposed to be going on today, isn't it?
Yeah, I've been seeing tons of posts and having a bad case of FOMO. I really want to be there for that one.
Yeah.
That seems like an incredible time. Yeah,
well,
there's
and so
a big circle pit.
Descendants are playing in place of NOFX tonight, I think, and Vandals in place of Me First and the Gimme Gimmes.
Yep. So, I mean, you definitely can't go wrong with those. Those are excellent replacements. You can't be disappointed.
And quick replacements, too. That was amazing.
Yeah. And just to kind of touch on the apology, the official apology from their social media pages said, what we said in Vegas was shitty and insensitive, and we were all embarrassed by our remarks. So we decided we will all get together to discuss and write an in-depth, sincere, and honest apology, because that's what the people we offended and hurt deserve. So,
yeah.
Like you said, that was maybe like 2 days after I think that they came out with this, so they got right on it, and I think they're sincere. I don't think they would bullshit. They don't seem like those kind of guys. So
they wouldn't, and I don't think they meant to really offend anybody. I think they were just fucking throwing something out and passing, and it was stupid, and that was that. So
I've said a bunch of stupid shit.
Haven't we all?
Just ask my wife.
Haven't we all?
She's got them all written down somewhere. All right, moving on. New Jersey boys, Lost in Society.
We were young men, fucked up creatures. That was when we only came out at night. We would pray to our park rock preachers, 'cause we thought they were
Lost in Society signed to Wiretap. Here we go again. This is probably going to be the last thing that we talk about for Wiretap, though. But yeah, I love those guys. I caught them at Punk Rock Bowling a couple years ago. Lots of energy, make a lot of noise for just being the three of them. And you always got to love New Jersey punk. It's always got some extra soul to it, some grit to it. I love punk out of that region. So really excited they signed with one of my favorite smaller labels, Wiretap. Excellent pickup.
Rob's pretty busy. I think, it'd make for a good interview. We should try and get him on the show.
Well, see, and you're leading right into the next one. There's actually an interview up on dyingscene.com. One of our writers did an interview with him. It's really good.
Oh, awesome.
And he talks about how he finds these bands and then the process of signing them. And it was really interesting for me, who doesn't know anything about it, but was always kind of interested in it, to kind of see how he does it. And he sacrifices a lot, and I think he does a great job. And I love pretty much his entire roster. He never really makes a bad choice.
Awesome. I wish they would have gotten audio for that so we could play it on here. Why don't they do that?
I don't know. He probably... It might have been done through email, too.
Bastards.
Sometimes they come through email. I don't know.
Well, let's get him on here.
Okay, yeah. Go buy a recorder, Bob. So speaking of Wiretap, they just also put out a new charity compilation.
Wow.
Like 33 different songs and bands on there. Everybody from Dead to Me... Dead to Me to Kamikaze Girls, Nerve Clinic, Odd Robot, Attic Salt. So really beefy comp with a lot of variety to it. 100%, because I know Bob's going to ask, 100% of proceeds after they pay the Bandcamp fees, 100% goes to the ACLU. So Rob said, over the course of the current term for this administration, we will continue to release an Attention compilation, which is the name of the album, 4 times a year, and we'll be donating 100% of the proceeds from all of those compilations to the American Civil Liberties Union. So it goes to a good cause as well.
Did you know I was going to ask this? What does the American Civil Liberties Union do?
I would imagine it's a lot of legal fees. I think they take cases of injustice to court on a like Supreme Court and stuff like that. So I'm sure they do a lot more than that. I'm not trying to minimize it. That's pretty much my whole knowledge of it. So that's as far as I'm going to dip in. But I'm sure they have a lot of legal fees. So yeah, go check that out. And then make sure you check back, 3 more times throughout the year, 2 more times throughout the year for the follow-ups, because there's a lot of really good bands on there.
Awesome. Yeah, I didn't really know about the ACLU. I'm on their website now, and it's all about defending free speech and our rights and all those kinds of things. So, wow, really awesome cause. And now I know. I've been educated. Thanks, Rob.
Where's the little ding 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 star? You're gonna have to go.
That's so off key.
Oh man, I tried. That's as good as I get. All right, my favorite news story of the week: propaganda. Propaganda is going on a short Canadian and U.S. tour, and one of those stops in the U.S. is right here in Denver. I went ahead and got my tickets today. I'm so stoked.
Awesome.
I don't know if I'm going to be able to shoot it though. The Lawrence Arms show, which Larry Arms shows are generally pretty laid back. They're not very rough. I was getting smashed. I got tore up. I was bruised up the next day from trying to take pictures down there near the stage. So propaganda show is going to be brutal.
Sounds like you need to start hitting the gym or something, dude.
I'm severely out of shape. But I think I'm probably going to need to beef up my health insurance before that show if I'm going to try and shoot it. I don't know. They have a strict camera policy there too, so you really have to get one of the bands to put you on the list. So
gotcha.
So propaganda, if you're listening, because I'm sure you are, get me on the list for the show at the Oriental in Denver.
No big deal.
They're playing with Iron Sheik too, so either one of you guys, just get me on there. Yeah, no big deal.
Also send me free shirts.
Bob, stop groveling. Actually, send him a shirt. He's a size small women's. Fits him perfectly. Old man punk news. Street Dogs.
I'll bear the cross. Some hope I die. Well, some say I'm evil enough to hate you kind. And when I lead my daughters into the riot night.
Street Dogs have a new album coming out, and they also have a couple videos that they've released.
Awesome.
So Boston punk veterans are streaming the second track, Other Ones, off of the upcoming album. Stand for Something or Die for Nothing is the name of the album. That should be hitting the public somewhere around June 22nd, and that's coming out on Century Media. So head over to dyingscene.com. You always kind of like a little bit of gritty, hardcore, kind of Boston Celtic music. One of the best.
Yep.
I like the flavor. You always can tell when a band is from Boston. You don't even have to really look at their whole little write-up. You can hear the Boston in them. And you can definitely hear the Boston in this one. Listen to it a little bit earlier. Really good shit. Ready to hear some more. Bob. Bob has no input whatsoever.
I have input always.
I have lots of input. All right. Really excited for this next story. Bridge 9 Records signed the supergroup Beach Rats. Beach Rats, which haven't really heard a lot of Beach Rats. But what I do know is that the new EP is due out on the 27th. It's going to be called Wasted Time. It's 5 songs long, and it's hardcore from Brian Baker, Ari Katz, and a few members of the Bouncing Souls. So I'm really excited to see that one, or hear that one, I guess. I like that they're keeping it kind of secret. They're not really releasing a lot. I think we talked about this in another episode. You don't have to release 5 songs in anticipation of your album. Keep it a little secret, a little bit of mystery. And this one's really got me intrigued because it's kind of a super.
That's awesome. Yeah. So Ari Katz was the singer from the 90s. Lifetime was 90s, right?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe late 90s.
Yeah.
You're right.
So, he's from the New Jersey hardcore band Lifetime, Ari Katz. And then Brian Baker's from Minor Threat.
Yeah. So that's pretty cool. I'm really looking forward to this summer. There's a lot of good music coming out, and that takes up a lot of our news segment here. It's just like new releases and people coming up, finishing albums and stuff like that. So it's going to be a really, really good summer, and I think the albums of the year list is going to expand a lot. So
Beach Rats already has music that's out right now, and then they're coming out with a new one, right?
I don't believe they have anything.
Oh, okay. Because I'm I haven't heard of them yet. I'm now extremely interested to hear what this sounds like. This is going to be exciting.
An Instagram page kind of popped up, and it was pictures of their first rehearsal, and that was in mid-September or late September of 2017. So they've really only been around for about 6 months. The last bit of information that we got was the release date and the name of the album. They said it was going to be 5 songs, and then I think somebody got keen and finally asked what kind of music it was, and they said it was hardcore. So that should be fun. Yeah, I think it'll be really cool.
That'll be interesting to hear the rhythm section from the Bouncing Souls play hardcore music.
They can do it, I'm sure.
I know.
And in other hardcore news, Agnostic Front.
Everybody's got a price to pay. It's my life. Gonna do things my own way. It's my life.
Agnostic Front is in pre-production with their new album. In an interview with frontman Roger Merritt, he was asked if the band had started work on the follow-up to the 2015 album, The American Dream Died, and he said, absolutely, we started pre-production on a couple of new songs. They're coming out pretty badass, and I'm happy with them because a lot of stuff is happening in the Agnostic Front camp. I just released my book, My Riot. That's been a big thing, and I did a tour around it, which is awesome. Now we have that film, The Godfathers of Hardcore, which is going to be another level.
Interesting.
There's a lot of positive stuff coming out, not just Agnostic Front, but New York hardcore, but hardcore worldwide too. All this stuff is positive for our message. People that follow us, it's good for hardcore, period. So I agree. They're starting to get books and documentaries and movies that kind of revolve around the scene. And I think it gives people that might be a little standoffish, it gives them a little bit insight and shows that they're just pretty much all cool guys.
Yeah, I'm excited to see that the documentary on that. That'd be really awesome, or the movie. They've been around for 40 years now, so they're
pretty crazy.
Yeah, I don't ever associate them. I mean, because they were pretty prominent through the 90s as well. I don't associate them with being such an old band, but yeah, they've been around forever. One of the first earlier New York punk bands, but like the first thrash band, right? Or hardcore band?
Yeah. They're really the ones that kind of added in the thrash to the hardcore and kind of mixed it up. They're one of the pioneers of the industry. So yeah, really cool to see it. They're still kicking around, and man, I didn't it came out of nowhere. Sometimes you kind of hear about them, or they might mention something a year before, oh yeah, we're recording. They're finished up at pre-production, ready to go.
Yeah, that's exciting.
That's coming out in the summer, it looks like, so keep an ear to the ground for that. And of course, you can always head over to dyingscene.com. We're going to announce it when it comes out, I'm sure.
Awesome.
Another new album coming out. Told you, it's going to be lots of new album news. The Interrupters.
Fight like a title holder. Stand like a champion. Live like a warrior. And never let them break you down.
The Interrupters announced that they're going to have a new album coming out, Fight the Good Fight.
Very cool.
And, of course, they released the first single, She's Kerosene. That's over on dyingscene.com. Incredible stuff, as always, from those guys. I love the Interrupters. Hometown heroes from right there in the San Fernando Valley.
You know what I recently learned about the Interrupters? Are they all brothers except for the singer?
There is definitely some brothers there. I don't know if they all are, but yeah, I think definitely there is two of them.
No, it's three brothers.
It very well maybe. I'm not going to argue. If you looked it up, I'm sure you're right, Bob.
I just looked it up. I learned about this like a month ago, and I just never realized that it was all brothers. That's really awesome.
Yeah, well, I know the two guitarists, or the guitarist and the bassist, look a lot alike. So. I realized when I was editing pictures of one of the shows I went to, I was like, wait, no, these are two different guys. The bass and the guitar gave it away. But at first, I thought they were the same person.
Yeah, they all look the same. We should know this.
I definitely should.
When you're dressed in your ska uniform, though, it is kind of hard to differentiate.
Well, and it kind of helps with the whole persona of the band too. It makes it look cool on stage as well.
Right.
So.
Very cool.
This is going to be their third studio album. Looks to be coming out on June 29th via Hellcat Records. It was produced by, of course, Tim Armstrong. They're in Los Angeles, I think, is where they did most of the recording. The album was also mixed by Tom Lord Alge, who apparently did Blink-182, Fall Out Boy, and Weezer work.
Interesting.
So pre-orders are up. There's a link on dyingscene.com. You can click that while you listen to the single. Cool video too. It's all kind of done in silhouette, which fits the theme again, black and white. So very ska-ish, if that's an adjective.
It is.
It probably shouldn't be. Hey, you want to hear about another band that has some new material?
Let's hear it.
Coming out?
Let's hear it.
Millencolin.
21,
Millencolin may be working on a new album. They were a little bit ambiguous about it.
When's the last time Millencolin's come out with something?
2016, True Brew.
Okay. Oh, that's right. Yeah.
So not too long ago.
Yeah.
But we're not exactly sure what's going on. The Swedish punk heavyweights posted a rather intriguing picture to the band's various social media platforms last week, simply stating something's cooking. And there's a picture of an egg frying. So
that is very much like them.
Maybe they were just making eggs and wanted to fuck with us.
Maybe.
Maybe. I'm hoping it's new music.
I wonder if it's a throwback to Life on a Dinner Plate. Remember the album cover for that was a chicken dead on a plate.
Right. And the yolk of this egg in the picture looks kind of like their little bird mascot. So it very well could be. Somebody needs to look up what year that came out and see if that's coming up. Maybe there's some sort of reference to that.
Interesting.
I'm sure the internet sleuths will figure it out and get back to us.
I'm actually, I got it. I'm here already. It was recorded on August 1995. It was released October 11th, 1995, March 26th, 1996, NA. I don't know what that means. Anyways, we'll continue because that's not very interesting, is it?
No, but at least now we've educated the masses. Everybody now knows.
Sure.
All right, Bob, you said earlier Agnostic Front had been around 40 years. So has DOA. DOA.
Oh, wow.
They're celebrating their 40th anniversary with a tour of the U.S. and Canada, and they are also releasing a new record.
Okay.
So you got to love the crazy Canadians, man. They always come down with good music, and they're one of the bands to really spread punk up there north of the border.
Yeah.
And they've been doing it forever. So the tour kicks off May 21 in Salt Lake City and goes, through August 18th. And in somewhere in British Columbia. I think that's about where they're from, so it's probably close to home. Check out dyingscene.com for all of the dates. They're playing the Viper Room there in West Hollywood near you, Bob. And it looks like they're playing Denver May 24th, so good job for me missing that one. I've got a lot going on in my life, Bob. They're going to be playing with MDC and Kevin Seconds at various stops. So, like I said, head over to the website, check that out.
I wonder how a band like that chooses their set list, right? DOA has been around forever. They've got they never stopped making albums.
This is their 17th studio album.
And they get to play, 17 songs?
Yeah, play one from each album.
Yeah, this is ridiculous. Interesting.
Yeah, so keep an ear out for that. That one looks to be coming out also this summer. It's going to be a busy summer. We're going to be talking about so much stuff. So much new music.
Yeah.
And finally, in news, Riot Fest has announced their first wave of bands, and it's a lot. Let's see, we've got Dropkick Murphys, Flogging Molly, Cypress Hill, Bad Religion, The Wonder Years, Andrew, WK, Guar, the Aquabats, Bob?
Guar. I like
Everybody's been talking about Hobo Johnson. He's playing. I don't know anything about him. Face to Face, The Exploited, Dillinger 4. Dillinger 4. Sounds like it's going to be a pretty good time.
You brought up the Aquabats, and really quick, just because we didn't talk about this, Travis Barker did end up playing with the Aquabats at the Back to the Beach festival that I missed, but I watched a bunch of it on whatever fucking YouTube the day after it happened. Looked awesome.
Is this just your casual way of saying you were right? Is that all you wanted to hear?
No, I'm bummed I missed it. You just brought up the Aquabats last time we talked about it. I'm a fan of the Aquabats. You know what else was really cool? I wish we would have talked about. I wish I would have gone so we could have talked about this. Now I'm just bringing it up randomly in the middle of Riot Fest. We'll get back to it. I watched a video on YouTube where the Mighty Mighty Boss Stones played The Impression That I Get, which is the song that everybody fucking knows.
Sure.
And they had everybody from every band get up on stage and start playing it with them, and it was really fucking cool. Yeah, the video was awesome. So go on YouTube and check that out if you are a Mighty Mighty Boss Stones fan. Everybody's on stage playing with it with them, and it just looks like a shit ton of fun. Anyways, bummer I missed it. Back to Riot Fest.
Yeah, excellent. Back to Riot Fest, September 14 through 16 at Douglas Park in Chicago, Illinois.
Face to Face is playing. I cut in.
Yeah.
Bouncing Souls.
Go ahead.
Adolescence.
Right on.
Yeah.
Cobra Skulls. There's plenty. I didn't even say Lagwagon. And then, once you start getting towards the top, that has to be a little bit more rock friendly to draw some crowd. So you get the Blink 182 Beck.
This is Direct Hits playing, Mom Jeans in there. This is a really good lineup. I'm actually a little bit jealous.
I'd be really excited to see Pussy Riot. I was shocked to see them on the card. I would love to see them. So I'm sure there will be more announcements to come. We just dropped a couple names there, but there are a bunch more. Head over to probably any social media site and you can find Riot Fest. I'm sure they will be the first to announce these things. What about some more music, Bob? I'm kind of done with the news. I'm over the news, Bob.
Oh, all right. Well, let's not do the news then.
Okay, let's do music.
Let's do music. Do the music.
No, that doesn't work.
All right.
We're just going to stop that.
Bummer.
Let's start our next block of music off with something from, how about some gritty New York anarcho ska-core? Right up my alley. This one is Comrades with Bodega Cats.
Bodega cats that I can pet. I'm trying hard not to get wet. Making time in the back row. Whiskey beats and up free shows. Tapping spotlight, hey, low, low. Cause I'm feeling sticky in someone else's clothes. Roadside breathing is closed. And it's smashing his pretty dresses. A cardiac arrest. I'm feeling sticky in someone else's clothes. Sidewalks eating up my soul. Chewing mud up as they go. The temperature drops and then we roll. Sidewalks eating up my souls. The children get permission to roll. Straight up here, they're trying to dispose. Cause I'm feeling sticky in someone else's clothes. Roadside free when it's closed. And it's smashing its pretty dresses. A cardiac arrest. I'm feeling sticky in someone else's clothes. I'm feeling naked, I'm drawing blanks. I lost the bookmark and the place. I'm throwing rocks and getting straight. Busted lip, children games. Hostages and losing days. Sidewalks up to the middle of the day. Running away from those bills. I'm never gonna pay. But I'm feeling sticky in someone else's clothes. Roadside free when it's closed. And it's smashing its pretty dresses. A cardiac arrest. I'm feeling sticky in someone else's clothes. Whoa, someone else's clothes.
Off of their newest album, Matter of Fact, that was Comrades with Bodega Cats. You gotta love the crusty shit, Bob. I'm telling you. I'm trying to get Bob into the crusty anarcho shit. Dragging him down with me.
I can tolerate a little bit.
Yeah, I bet you can. Alexis, if you're listening, I never got my stickers, yo. I was going to plaster them all over Denver.
Send me a shirt.
Don't send Bob a shirt. Don't send him shit. I bought the stickers, Bob.
Oh.
Right. Yeah. Bob's sitting here asking for a handout. Moving on. Next up, we have The Right Here with More Delusions. That was from the B-side album, Another Round. That was The Right Here with More Delusions. It's got a little bit of a Dave Haas sound to him. I love it.
Yeah.
Nice laid-back chill, something that's not quite as aggressive, something to
relax to.
Right. After you get done with the crusty ska core, we're going to move over to something a little more soothing. It's a palate cleanser.
Yeah.
That track almost made their last album, Stick to the Plan. And I wonder always kind of what goes into music selection whenever you're going into, album layouts like that. Like, why didn't this song make the cut? I love it.
Maybe they already had other songs on the album that kind of sounded similar, had similar structures.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
We, in the bands that I've been in, if you get about like 5 or 6 songs that really feel similar, you got to cut one.
Okay.
Yeah. Or similar.
Let's hope that was it.
Yeah.
I liked the song a lot. I was pretty sad when I heard that it didn't make the main album and it was relegated to a B-side album. But the B-side album that was released was really good. There's a couple covers on there, acoustic versions of existing songs, and then, of course, a few songs that are unreleased previously for whatever reason.
Yep.
Okay, let's go back up north of the border to Red Deer. This is Alberta's greatest punk rock band, Trash Ambulance, with Bridesmaids. That one was Bridesmaids from the LP Flashes of Competence from Trashed Ambulance. I love that one. They've got some clever little bass riffs kind of tucked in neatly there. Yeah. Little dugga 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 duh. Is that how they go? Dugga dugga duh dugga dugga duh.
Wait,
I don't know.
One more time.
Dugga dugga duh dugga dugga duh duh. I'm really good at mouth bass.
I think this is going to become we're going to have to use this as a transition piece in the future. Your mouth basing.
We'll see what we can do. The new LP was just released a couple weeks ago from our friends over at Thousand Island Records. It is the band's second full length. Whole thing is pretty fucking good. I would highly recommend getting over there and listening to the whole thing. Long LP. Don't remember the exact count, but 15 maybe. So definitely more than the regular 10 or 12. And now we're going to move on to Bob's only contribution to the episode. I ask him every time, hey, feel free to send stories. Feel free to send songs. I send him a text the day before we're playing the record. Hey, send me a song. And he sends back just one. But it's a good one, so really good choice. This one came from the featured streams section over at Dying Scene. So if you want to hear more of it, head over there and click the link. This is the Breakdowns with The Fort. Sick of Space is the name of the album. That was the Breakdowns with The Fort.
I didn't even know that was featured on Dying Scene. Was it featured because of me?
No,
Oh.
we don't take anything you say into consideration.
All right.
We actually usually do the exact opposite. This was just coincidence. We must have missed you on this one. There was an interview with the guitarist, Chris, and he said that song was about being 13 and getting beat up by dudes in Dio t-shirts. I think we all know that, how that goes.
Yeah.
I had my fair share of ass whoopings. Maybe not in Dio shirts, but definitely.
That's really exciting. I'm glad this stood out to other people besides just me. I picked a really good one, didn't I?
Apparently people relate to getting beat up and bullied.
Yeah. Good job,
people
me.
Like you. Good job. High five, me. I deserve a band t-shirt.
Yeah. No credit to the band who wrote the song.
No, not at all.
I did a good job
Bob
picking it.
Great job, Bob. The Breakdowns, meh. You did all right. You won't be getting a t-shirt from them.
Oh, hey, man, this is on my album of the year list. So
it was really good.
Yeah,
I enjoyed
the whole album is really good. There's another one. It was between this or another song on there that I was going to send you, but it was my songs that I had to send you were from this album, and I couldn't send you two. So,
no, you couldn't have. I would have flipped my shit.
Yeah, not from the same album. Maybe next time that's what I'll do.
Don't do it. Don't do it. It would anger me greatly. All right, let's head back to my hometown of Los Angeles. This one is from Failing Up, Decaying of Us All.
Give me something so I can drift away. You became an infection that I can't treat. A lethal injection I can't escape. Poison in the heartbeat to my blood. What a shame! Because you've done it all. I breathe the light, not anymore. You've been
comrades, Anarcho-Punk here at Three Kings Tavern in Denver, Colorado. Actually, we're not at Three Kings. We're a couple blocks up, but we're going to be heading to Three Kings any minute now. Today, we're hanging out with Ian, Ricky, and the Deuce from Chicago-based political punk trio Voice of Addiction. The band's last album, The Lost Art of Empathy, actually made my albums of the year list, and then boss man Dave stole my advice and added it to his list because he's a leech like that. He has no opinions of his own. He took my lead. But yeah, made 2 lists of ours. So fantastic LP, guys. I still play it like every week, I think. I don't know if there's been a week yet that's passed. I haven't thrown it on. That's
you're such a sweetheart.
No, I'm really not. So you guys are on the first leg of your West Coast tour, which will probably be over or rounding out about the time that this airs, but we'll still talk about it anyway. How's the road been treating you guys so far?
It's crazy to think that we've only done 3 shows so far. So this is a 32-date tour, and no days off, because I always go by the Mike Watts saying, if you ain't playing, you're paying. So you never want to schedule a day off on tour. If worse comes to worse and something falls through, it is what it is, but you never want to plan for it, in my opinion. I'm not out here on vacation. We're working. This is what we do. So we take this very seriously. We're not just out here having a fun time. Although, with that being said, we are having a fun time.
Hell yeah. You got to have a little bit of fun on it. So like we said, you're kind of early into the trip, so I don't know if you guys have had any debacles or anything interesting happen yet. Anything crazy? Everybody's laughing. Yeah, something happened. Okay, let's hear it.
Well, I mean, nothing really crazy has happened just yet. I mean, we've had a couple of technical malfunctions, this and that, but this is Andy and I's first time on the road, and it's definitely different, man. It's pretty fun out here. It's pretty cool to see different parts of the United States and just places that I never thought that I would ever
like that enormous poop scene.
Yes. You're talking about stuff you've never seen as a drunk old man with shit stains down the back of his shirt walked by.
I was trying, man. I almost had it too, man. I was trying so hard, man.
You guys did a great job.
Like, what
right.
the hell, man?
We were doing okay until Deuce pointed that out.
Denver, I guess.
Yeah, man.
So we can go ahead and add the shit-stained old man to the list of debacles so far on the tour.
There we go.
I mean, you never really know what's going to happen, and it's like Murphy's Law. It's going to happen. So last night, second song, the bass pedal went through the bass drum. So all we could do is reverse it and make the show must go on. We're a big believer of that.
Does that still count as a lead foot? I don't even know.
Yeah. You're doing it way too hard. I saw that you guys got to play with Demerit from China a few nights ago. I haven't got a chance to see them. Are they fucking amazing?
It's actually not till Seattle.
Oh, no. Am I wrong?
In a couple weeks. So
I'm
we
so stoked for that. I thought it was past
really
already.
Stoked about that, though. They were amazing.
Yeah, I'm fucking amped. You'll have to let me know how that one goes. And you guys, have you played with Days and Days yet, or is that coming up too?
That's coming up as well, but we have played with them before.
They're pretty dope. I like them. I saw them in LA a couple years ago. Yeah, talented group. Even if they don't even play traditional instruments. They have stuff like washboards and everything, and they still make fucking rad music.
Houston's finest.
That's right. Yeah, Houston. There's a pretty decent scene down in Houston from what I hear. So, as we mentioned earlier, you guys are here in the Mile High City. You're playing with the Black Dots, Leash Dragons, the Windermere's, and DFMK is coming up from Tijuana. Oddly enough, I never saw DFMK when I was in LA, and they used to be there a lot. So this will be the first time I'm seeing them 1,000 miles away from home. So you guys have been kicking around since 2004 in some form or fashion, a couple different lineups to that time. You guys are primarily a touring band, so I'd imagine it is a little bit tougher to keep member retention.
Not everybody knows how to pull out.
Well, they do say that's the least effective form. But yeah, no, you said, I think in another interview that you've always kind of kept a rotation, and Ian, you're the only permanent member of the band still. But how does it go kind of with, and I'm going to ask you guys, Andy, Deuce. We're going to get that to go. Ricky and Deuce. I'm going to ask you guys, how does it go? Like when you come in and you kind of got to learn all of these songs that are already written, what does that process look like for you guys? Deuce?
Well, for me, there's a lot of really good drumming to follow up to. I'm not like new or anything, but I'm definitely more the hardcore style instead of like, like a lot faster, like double pedal stuff. Jake was the last drummer, right? On your album, or who was on your album?
My buddy filled in on the album, Dennis Tynan. He's a fantastic drummer, that is some shoes to fill.
Yeah, no, that's been kind of challenging, but like, we've been practicing since September or so, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like I just kind of got with the vibe of the songs. I get the style a lot better with the band and where it is right now. So I'm pretty stoked to keep going, to keep making music right now. The learning process is pretty cool because we already had finished recordings because they'd already been finished and we had access to them.
Yeah.
So learning was a little bit quicker. Writing is going to be continue to be a fun game, I think.
Yeah.
Because we all have some interesting stuff now with this lineup.
And Ricky, how does it work for? I don't know if it's different. I'm musically inept, but I would imagine it's a little bit different for a guitarist than it is a drummer to kind of learn songs in a period of time that you kind of gotta perfect.
Well, yeah, I mean, with multiple different styles of music comes different, expressions, different feelings, different sounds, different tones, different strings, different amps, different this, different that. It's just kind of how it is. Me personally, I've never played punk before, and I never really thought I would. But I saw Voice of Addiction, I believe in 2014 in West Chicago at the Cairo Ale House. And I remember talking to the original guitar player, Jake, when they were setting up. He was playing guitar, and he was like playing some like jazz licks, and I was like, oh, dude. So like, of course, naturally, I got my associate's degree in music, specifically jazz guitar. So it was kind of cool talking to him. Then I saw the Craigslist ad, and I signed up for the band. So the biggest thing was just kind of like learning the different parts and like kind of just getting the style down, having more of my own feel, playing something that's already written. But I feel like, it's like you said, it's a little bit different than learning like the drums and the guitar and stuff. There's different aspects, but it's still, it's still like it's work. You got to practice. Once you practice and get it down, it becomes real fun.
It's like muscle memory.
Exactly.
But also, Ricky never sang before, and with us only being a 3-piece, I'm really big on trying to make as much sound as possible on stage with only 3 people. Yeah, so right. He's had to step it up and do backing vocals as well. So that's been a fun experience, seeing him kind of get his sea legs with that, as you'd say.
Yeah, I suck at singing, man. I'm telling
but you were born with a growl and a scream that you can't teach.
And that's what I was going to say. That's the beauty of punk. You don't have to be good at it. You just have to be passionate about it.
Yeah,
get up there and scream.
That's true, man. That's true. You just let out. One of the biggest things for me too is just let out all your anger, man.
Yeah.
It's the best.
It's a big outlet. If you're playing punk music, it's a very big outlet. I always say, if I wasn't touring in a punk band, I would have to go to therapy. Like, it's my form of avoiding therapy, because when I play shows, I get everything out. But if I have time in between tours and I'm not playing shows, I notice I'm not as happy of a person because I'm not getting that release.
See, and that leads perfectly into the next question. That's actually what I was going to say. So in a couple of interviews, I kind of read that where you said, playing live is your almost like cathartic for you, or therapy. And so my question was going to be, how do you deal with it when you're not on the road? Are you just like a fucking bear to deal with? Because that's how I am. I just alienate. When I'm grumpy, I alienate people, and I just fucking turn into an asshole. How do you deal with it?
Turn into an asshole?
Oh, the interview is over.
Yeah. I mean, everybody gets depressed, and I'm never happier than when I'm on the road. I've always had itchy feet. I love traveling, and touring is extremely grueling. So back to your other question about, previous members, touring is for a very small part of the population. It doesn't matter how much you're into music, tour might be terrible for you. It's not easy, but at the same time, it doesn't mean it can't be fun as hell. And that's why, how was I describing it? So touring's like a pirate ship,
Oh, yeah,
you got to keep morale up. You don't want a mutiny on your hands. And not everybody's going to be 100% every day. Somebody might be getting sick. Someone might be hungover. So you got to kind of pick them up on those days and hope they do the same for you. Otherwise, I mean, 2 things happen when you're in a 4x4 space in a car for a month. You either become best friends and family, or you hate each other.
I can only imagine. That's got to be. I like to think I'm made out for touring, and I say, oh man, it'd be cool to go out and do, take pictures for the band while they're on tour. And I just really think about 3 days in, I would go nuts and just take a Greyhound back home. I don't know if I'm made out.
It's a lot more work than people realize. I mean, you never stop. Yeah. You drive all day on no sleep to get there just in time for load-in. And then, you know, you don't get out till the wee hours of the night because you're waiting to get paid. You finally get wherever you're staying, and, you know, you have a couple of drinks to be able to fall asleep. Can't get a full night's sleep because you got to wake up and do it all over again. Yep. You know, you're lucky if you can eat breakfast and or shower even in the morning. So you're constantly moving, constantly going, constantly looking for Wi-Fi, for places to plug in your phone and computer and everything else, and you just never stop. You just keep going. But with that being said, it doesn't mean it can't be the most fun experience in your life, and that's what it is for me.
And if you can find some enjoyment from something that, you know, you can also do and make a little bit of money at, that's good. You know, even if it's not enough, if it gets you to the next city, that's what I like. You guys are brave individuals, far braver than myself. Ian, probably the most interesting thing I read about you was that you're classically trained, and Ricky, I believe you are as well.
All of us, actually.
Oh, are all of you?
Actually,
perfect.
yeah.
So that's uncommon. See, I didn't find anything on you, Deuce, because I was probably only Googling your real name, and everybody knows that it's only Deuce now.
You gotta go
going
to
forward.
the Deuce is AndyDucey.com.
Whatever that is.
Yeah, I'd like to see that.
So most bands in this genre specifically don't have a ton of training. Most of them kind of learn the trade by thrashing around in the garage or something like that, you know. But you guys actually went to school for it and you were trained. What kind of class? I don't know anything about music. What kind of classes or training do you get, like educationally, to be classically trained?
You're basically learning, think of classical music. Like, you're learning all the cadences and what they used to do. And while that doesn't have a whole lot to do with modern music, I had, when I was in college, I had an instructor who said it best. He's like, you've got to learn the rules before you know how to break them properly. And so when I was in college, to be honest, I wasn't even that involved in the punk scene for those few years. I kind of was only listening to older stuff. Not a lot of new stuff was really doing it for me. And then, I don't know, I kind of went back to my roots, and that's when we kind of started going in this direction with VOA.
So what got you back into punk? So you got away for a little bit. There really wasn't anything there. And I kind of did the same thing back in the early 2000s, late 1990s. The scene kind of died a little bit. There wasn't a ton out there. What did it?
Album in particular that piqued my interest about Axl Rose being reinvented.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
And I'm like, wow, so there is some new stuff with something new to say, because there's always that stigma about punk rock. Like, you don't need to be a good musician. It's easy. You don't need, whatever else. And I never liked that. We've always been technical. I want to throw those things in there. And so I describe my writing style as a mix of my musical training and my ADHD.
I agree with that.
If we're going to play the same songs every day for a month, that you want them to be interesting enough, you know?
That's right.
No, and it's funny that you say the Against Me album. That was literally the album that kind of got me back into it when I went through like a little 3 or 4 year phase where nothing was doing it. Really weird.
That's really funny.
Man.
Same timing.
There we go. So it wasn't just me. I'm glad you kind of validated that it wasn't me just losing interest in punk. It kind of got a little stale there for a little bit.
Their first 2 albums were so good. Yeah. I saw them so many times throughout those few years.
Oh, I bet. Yeah. Chicago, right?
Oh, yeah. She lives there now.
Yeah. So in an old interview, Ian, you said that you guys every year for Halloween would dress as different bands, like Op Ivy or Descendants, a few others, and then you would go out and perform cover sets. Do you guys still do that? Are you planning on doing that?
I think 2015 was the last time we did it as Black Flag. We did it for 6-7 years, and then we do like 6 or 7 shows around the Midwest as them, because it's a lot. It's so much work to learn another band's entire set, especially some of the harder ones, like when we did Propaganda.
Fuck, that'd be pretty dope.
Yeah, that was a challenge. Plus, we're only a 3-piece. So actually, to be honest, the Operation Ivy was extremely hard, because I had to do the bass and the singing, and he's basically rapping. He's so fast on that. We did the whole Energy album, all 19 songs.
Shit.
And he's so fast on that album, just remembering the lyrics. I mean, to this day, when I play even my songs live, my bass playing is just muscle memory at this point. No. And all I'm thinking about live is, what are the lyrics? That's always my biggest challenge, is remembering the lyrics.
That's pretty incredible, though. I like that you guys go out and do that, or you used to. You need to get back to it.
Oh, I'm down.
I'm pumped.
I think the next one you should do Good Charlotte.
Oh, I was thinking Sum 41. There is a couple contenders. There is a couple contenders that were up for debate when we stopped. And the only reason we stopped is because the lineup changes. But we were going to do Recipe for Hate by Bad Religion.
Nice.
Repeater by Fugazi.
Oh, nice.
Those were definitely two of the big contenders. But, it's open for debate.
Keep your ears open. It might happen. And when it does, I want a residual check for all the money you make for bringing it back. So we are almost a year removed from the latest album. What do you do now? I know you're busy with tours the rest of this year. You got one coming up in the summer too, right? Or near the end of the year. And then you've got festivals to fill in the gaps. Do you guys do you do any writing on the road? I don't imagine you sit still very often.
Yeah, there's not really a lot of time for writing. I do most of my writing on an acoustic guitar, actually.
Okay.
And just with weather and humidity and things, bringing one on the road, it would get ruined.
Okay.
So there's just not time for that. I mean, we're trying so hard just to keep up with everything. Plus, we're booking the Canadian and East Coast tour in October right now. So it's like you're constantly you don't stop working is the whole thing. It's really annoying how much I have to be online while I'm traveling.
It's awful.
But you try to find a line in between, find times. You got to pick and choose your battles.
Well, I think you're doing a good job with the social media. Some bands don't do all of their events, and it makes it very hard to keep up with. You're doing a fantastic job. You also have a new full-length documentary out called Punk Band. Is that right?
It's coming out this summer, actually.
Okay. I was going to say, because I couldn't find it anywhere. So definitely keep an eye out for that. I saw a little clip somewhere.
I believe that it's punkbandthemovie.com. So it's going to come out in some online things like Vimeo and whatnot in middle of July. And then August 17th is the premiere in Chicago.
And basically, it just kind of chronicles your 2016 tour, Midwest, West Coast tour?
West Coast tour. So a very similar tour to this, actually. The biggest difference is we're hitting Tijuana and Vancouver this time. We didn't that tour.
Nice.
But yeah, we had somebody follow us for 4.5 weeks, and it kind of chronicles that. And that was the 5th tour with that current lineup and the last one with both of them. So that's kind of why the tagline's like watching. It happened during the election of Trump. We got back the day before the election. So the tagline's like watching a punk band self-destruct while America self-destructs around them or something like that.
I am definitely looking forward to that. It looked pretty good on the little clip I saw. Okay, so that's it for the traditional section of the interview. Now for the hardest part and the most strictly graded part of the whole interview. This is the rapid fire section. You guys are going to have a hard time keeping up with the Shell Corporation. No. This is straight up. I don't give any breaks whatsoever.
So this is why you waited until after we went to the brewery to do this, right?
Yeah. That's what they call the handicap. We're going to keep everything on a even playing field here, and everybody I think I've ever interviewed has been stoned or drunk. So
there we go.
You're in Denver now, so that ain't gonna change.
Yeah, so still got that to contend with. All right, we're gonna do 2 questions apiece. We're gonna start up front here with Deuce, and then we're gonna move on back to Ian. Oh, yeah. You're kicking things off. Then we're gonna go over to Ian, and then finally Ricky. So here we go. Deuce.
Yeah.
What kind of road tunes you guys listening to right now?
Road tunes, whatever we find in Ian's car, man. Like, he's got a lot.
That's eclectic, though.
Yeah, man. We were listening to Repeater by Fugazi the other day. A lot of, like, local bands that he's played with through the years. A lot of his good friends from across the country we've been listening to, of varying qualities. But, yeah, no, we've been having a lot of fun. We've been all punk in the car so far. Can't really name a lot off the top of my head right now.
Here comes the fire department, as if on cue.
Godspeed.
Oh, this is a 2-alarm fire.
It's a deuce.
It's a deuce. It's a flaming deuce. All right. Ian, who would play you in a movie?
Probably Gary Busey.
There we go. Yes, absolutely Gary Busey. It's one of my favorite answers.
I love him. I don't care what anybody says.
He's a little crazy, but hey, crazy works for him.
That's awesome, man. I love that answer.
Ricky, so you guys are a touring band, and I don't know how many other places you've played, but where's the strangest place you've played? Either a venue or a city, something like that. Doesn't have to be on this tour, obviously.
Strangest places that I played, strangest place. Man, that's actually a really good question. I don't know. I played mostly around the city a lot and stuff like that. I'd say maybe I don't even really know, man. Probably just
Lame.
yeah, I know, man. No, I don't know. Probably
Tip Top was wacky.
yeah, probably. Yep, that would be one.
I
Tip Top.
played in a dungeon in New York City once.
Damn, that's crazy.
Yeah, was it a sex dungeon?
It's called Lit Lounge, and the venue's below it, and it's a total dungeon. It was pretty crazy. It's still around as far as I know.
Fantastic. That one's a good one. I want to play in a dungeon. All right, we're going to move back up to Deuce. What is your favorite non-punk artist or band?
Ooh, man, there's so many.
I'm
That's
sure.
the worst question.
I'm sure.
Non-punk. Let's see. I have to think about that because there's so many like other different kinds of punk as well.
Oh,
I like emo. Does emo
Dinosaur
count?
Jr.? Sure.
Dinosaur Jr. is a good one. I really. What's a good one? I'm getting into modern baseball a lot. Okay. And also, like, I don't really spend a lot of time listening to a lot of other music at the point because, like, I'm in 3 bands right now, so I'm trying to write a lot and learn a lot. So, yeah, I'd say Dinosaur Jr. right now is one of my go-tos for sure.
I'll accept that answer.
And local bands, too. I like listening to the CDs I pick up along the way.
Deuce, you're hitting them out of the park. You're winning so far. Ian, pressure's on. What is your favorite pro tip or life hack while you're on the road?
So if you completely strike out on finding a crash spot, you start driving to the next town and stop at the first campground, and you set up a fire, have a couple beers, break camp with everybody in the morning, and don't pay as long as it's not a state park or national park.
That's a good one. Free night's sleep?
Do I got the lead?
That one bumped you up a little bit more. Ricky's really shitting the bed here.
You have no idea. Every time I wake up in the morning, I'm just like, God damn it, not again.
Like the old man walking down the street earlier.
You just got the Deuce
Guys,
in the bed
Yeah,
Guys.
you would think the Deuce would be shitting the bed, but he's killing it.
Guys, I'm very resourceful though.
I just wake up in bed with
He's selling himself. Okay, last question. You got a chance to redeem yourself. Why do Chicagoans think casserole is fucking pizza?
Shit.
Like literally?
Damn. Because I mean, it's pretty much got the same ingredients. Like I don't fucking know.
All right, I gotta say something here. We don't eat that shit. It's for tourists. We eat thin crust in Chicago.
Good.
Yeah,
All right.
I don't know. I like them both. I tell you what, I like food, and I like beer too. I don't know if anybody else likes beer, but I like beer too.
Not at all.
Oh, damn.
Nobody in here.
But yeah, I don't know. I guess it's probably because it's like similar in the makeup.
All right.
Okay.
That's fine. I can't argue you.
I don't know.
I'll have to. Okay, so 2/3 of you guys did a great job.
Yeah, I know who didn't do a good job.
We're going to go ahead and close this out. Keep an eye out online for these guys because, like I said earlier, they do a fantastic job. You can check them out at voiceofaddiction.com or on Facebook and Twitter at VOA Rockers. And then, of course, on Bandcamp, voiceofaddiction.bandcamp.com. Through the magic of post-production, we can get my
Pretty fucking phenomenal, accommodating, and helpful.
co-host Bob to play any Voice of Addiction song you want to play out with. So which one do you want him to play?
Let's do Dead by Dawn.
Bob, you heard the man. Hit it.
Just when you thought you'd seen it all, it gets so dark before the dawn. 'Cause every day I learn something new that makes I've been hurting all my life through the lines between wrong and right. Next in the street.
Duke.
This is Ricky Hendricks.
This is Ian, and you are listening to Voice of Addiction on Dying Scene Radio.
I've been seething, been dancing around the edge of redemption, trying to find a way to circle around, to realize that this is all we have to work with, the expectations and never asking why. 'Cause when we fall down, try and come back stronger, but the odds are always out of favor. We're living for tonight, and all the time we hope for something else to pass the time away. We fall back down. I've been screaming, bearing across the rings of my weakness, buried it down low and deep inside. Are we still learning, or are we just making the same mistakes whilst we're rocking up the days until we die? 'Cause when we fall down, we try and come back stronger, but the odds are always out of favor. We're living for tonight, and all the time we hope for something else to pass the time away. We fall back down. 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 Can you feel it? The need to fall in line. This contention leaves a mark between your heart and mine. So will you feel it? It's hard to justify. So just forgive and forget. Forgive and forget.
From Brighton, UK, that was River Jumpers with Weathered Bones. That is from their newest and, sad to say, final album, Take Your Chances. I love the River Jumpers. I saw that they had a new album coming out, and I got really stoked. And then they released it and said it was going to be their last album, and I got really sad.
Yeah.
So, way to toy with my emotions, guys. It was a real roller coaster of a day for me. You really need to consider my feelings when you're talking about maintaining your existence as a band. And I don't remember seeing an email asking any of my permission. So,
But you know what? It's nice that they close up shop when releasing an album instead of just kind of like fading out, you know?
oh yeah,
They burn out
absolutely.
bright.
Go out with a bang.
Yes.
But yeah, really sad to hear. But the whole album was really good. That one's been on repeat for a while and is currently on my albums of the year list. 10 tracks, every single one of them a gem. And they're playing 2 last shows, which I think are already over. Let's see, May 25th and 26th. Yeah, so you missed your window there across the pond if you weren't at Punk Fest 2 or Hastings Palace for either of those shows. Really dropped the ball on that one, guys. That's a show Bob would have missed. That's the level you're on. We're going to start equating missing shows to different levels of Bob.
Oh, there are so many levels.
We deal with our sadness by making jokes. So moving on from my old neighborhood there in Van Nuys, this is The Lungs off of their new EP, Body Snatchers. This is Post Nasal.
You should talk well, I'm post-nasal, cover my hearts like we got no space, like filling my lungs with something special. Gotta hope that I got no vision, if the inside can't tell what's missing, making us all turn the cops are raging. Smoke
Gross name for a song, Post Nasal, but pretty rad fucking band. I love the guys in the Lungs. That was from the new EP Body Snatchers. Really miss those guys. Went to a couple shows of theirs. They always put on a good performance, lots of energy, and it was always great having them there in my neighborhood. I ordered a T-shirt one time online, and instead of mailing it, they just hand delivered it.
That's awesome.
Right up the street. So that kind of service wins you my fandom. So good job at the Lungs. Really gonna miss those guys. Hold down the fort there in Van Nuys. Whenever I come back, I'll come see you. Next up, we're gonna stick there in Southern California. This is Boss Fight with Get It Right. That one was from their last album from way back in 2016, almost actually a little bit over a year old now. That was from Days of Gray. That was Get It Right from Boss Fight down there in San Diego. Love those guys. The vocals are unique, way too clean for punk rock almost. You gotta love it when they're almost too good for the genre. You guys need to really pull that back some, gritty that up, messy up the vocals. You'll never make it. You'll never make it with vocals that good. Love those guys though, really good guys. I never got to see them live, unfortunately. It just our schedules never sunk up. But I'm friends with a couple of them on Facebook, and we interact a lot. So if you're down there in Southern California, or even if you're not, if you ever get a chance to catch them on tour, do what I have not done and go see them live.
Yeah.
Bob, how about that interview?
That was a grand interview.
Voice of Addiction out of Chicago. Those guys are incredible. I like that the lineup changes kind of pretty regularly, but this specific lineup was really fun. Really fun to talk to. Had a good time hanging out in the car.
I don't know how having members change so regularly doesn't slow them down.
Well, and that was kind of like with the question that I asked when I asked him, kind of like the learning curve on it. But he always, Ian, the main member that's always been in it, he said that he makes sure that he gets people that have a musical background.
I know, but
both of these guys are classically trained, so this is kind of, like we mentioned earlier with the vocals with Boss Fight, they kind of actually have to, dumb it down a little bit probably.
Yeah, but you got to find somebody, you got to get those rehearsals and still I don't know. Maybe I'm just not that good of a musician, and that's why it doesn't make sense to me.
I know I'm not that good of a musician, but it boggles my mind how you can just switch it up and then have people come in and pick right up where the last crew, I guess, left off.
Yeah.
But yeah, awesome guys. Had a lot of fun on that interview, and then we went to watch the show, which was pretty fucking phenomenal.
Yeah.
We got pictures up on the Instagram page. I'm too lazy to do show reviews anymore, so it's just pictures from me. But
you have been busy out there. I'm glad you got this interview, and I'm impressed that you went and did some photo shoots and stuff. So you haven't even been there. You've been there a month as of like today, right?
Yeah, maybe a couple days ago. Yeah, maybe 3 days ago. But yeah, I try and keep my hands busy. Idle hands are not a good thing for me, Bobbert. But yeah, speaking of, I don't know what we're going to have up next, but I did get up with the guys in Potato Pirates. I was actually going to try and get them to get me into a show, and just didn't work out. So I had some things popped up, but I did kind of hook them for an interview. We don't have anything pinned down yet, but I think I can probably get them reeled in time for the next episode.
Nice.
So maybe that. If not, we'll just do more news. Since we spent so much time talking about the NOFX debacle this time, we can do a little extra time on news if we don't have the interview by then.
Yeah.
But I don't know. We'll see. The future is a mystery. I can't wait till it all unfolds in front of us.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I'm fitting in here. The scene is nice to me. Everybody's been really accommodating and helpful. I've been meeting some new folks. And actually, our closing song today was recommended by one of my new pals out here. His name is Andy. He runs Colorado Punk Rock Army, which is a great resource for us locals now.
Very cool.
For everything that's coming up. So go over there and give him a follow on Facebook. He actually turned me on to this guy, or this next band. And it's kind of hardcore heavy this episode here, Bob. We're going to wrap it up with some hardcore.
All right.
And I'm probably going to butcher the name, but the name of the song is Nazi Fucks. I think we can all pronounce that well enough. Name of the band is Almataha. If I'm saying that correctly, I'm probably butchering it. But either way, Bob will clean it up in editing, I'm sure.
I'll try.
All right, let's close this fucker out. Spin that shit, Bob. Until next time, comrades, be safe.
Adios.
Kill yourself! Racist fuck! You know me! Frustrated! Fucking enemy! Used around your neck! Cuff your head and belt! Throw you in the river! With your racist roots! Stupid shit! Dog ailing everywhere! Shows look go on you! Fence out jack! Mask in the White House! Steve Miller too! Political test to go fuck about you! Nazis! Out of fuck! Nazis! Out of face! Nazis! Kill yourself! Nazis! Out of fuck! Nazis! Out of face! Nazis! Kill yourself!
Oh, I could see a boob. There we go.